Welcome back, fellow gamers. I want to talk to you today about the Unset, particularly a third Unset, and what Wizards of the Coast should do if they want to make this happen. Now, it's no secret that Mark Rosewater wants a third Unset to happen. He's been pretty vocal about it on his blog, and with, rightfully so. It's a thing that he likes doing. He enjoyed making the first two, and he'd like to see a third one. But I also understand Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast doesn't want to make a product that nobody will buy. Now, if you're unfamiliar with unsets, you're going to be like, well, why would nobody want an unset? Great question. An unset is a collection of cards that are silver bordered that cannot be played in sanctioned formats and are pretty much shunned upon in a lot of play groups, even if it's just casual house rules. I know myself personally, I don't want an unset card, silver bordered card in my Commander games, but I definitely appreciate the work that goes into it, and I appreciate the mechanics that come out of the finished product. One example that I always like seeing is a card called Cheaty Face, where you can cheat the card into play, just like slide it in there, and if the person doesn't catch you doing it, well, hey, you got it in play, it's good to go. And there are a lot of other great cards from it, and I would love to see what Mark Rosewater and company would be able to cook up in this current environment, right? It just seems cool. Obviously, what happens is that these cards are a one and done, so you're going to have a lot of people that really don't want to buy it. People do buy a product of this now, but that's pretty much to get the full art lands, because if you hit a foil full art land, you are on easy street. It is a good hit. What I think Wizards of the Coast should do is that they should predominantly make half the pack reprints, half the pack silver bordered cards. And by reprints, I do mean black bordered cards. Upshift the rarity on every reprint, whether it's a common or uncommon in a previous set, make it rare. Don't make like a common a mythic, but do have strong rares and mythics like a Damnation, Jace the Mind Sculptor, these types of cards that would be slotted in that people would want to buy a pack for. But here's the thing, you might be like, well, what happens if we just get people hoarding packs or hoarding boxes? I think that Wizards of the Coast with the Eternal Masters reprint or second run, whatever you want to call it, I think they strategically did that so that people who are hoarding product think twice. And I think that might have been received. I think now we're seeing a lot of people kind of shy away from hoarding boxes. I'd say even if you look at Rudy at Alpha Investments, he's not really buying the Aether Revolt stuff, the Kaladesh stuff. He's going into Pokemon and other stuff. So people, I'm not saying he's like a dirty hoarder. I actually really enjoy Alpha Investments, just in case anybody thinks I'm like, I don't know, talking smack or something. I don't know. Anyways, what happens here is we get people that won't really invest in this product because half of the stuff, you're not going to have uncommons in the uncommon slot that are several dollars, or commons that might be $2 or $3. You're going to have those two whole tiers of rarity theoretically unusable by constructed players. So they are taking a gamble. If they get like a common that happens to be a rare, they might not really like it that much. But what happens if the average player sees that same aspect? They're like, oh, I don't want to waste, $4 a pack and get this crappy common as my rare. Well, here's where I think we can actually adjust the mind frame or the mindset of the player, is that the reprints that are commons and uncommons that are shifted up in rarity have the flavor and art adjusted to fit the unset theme. So they're filled with gags, and they still maintain their black bordered status. The rules are identical, but the art and the flavor text are on par with what you'd see in normal unset cards. I think that'd be really cool, and I would even say venture to maybe having them as well to the rares and mythics. Keep a few iconics, like let's say Damnation, if you're finally going to print it. Keep that serious and on point, but like take liberties with the existing cards, art, and flavor text. Now that does increase the cost of production because you have to commission new art, write new flavor text, but I think that there is a real draw to new players who, not necessarily new players, but players who wouldn't invest in Unhinged normally. I know I would like let's say a gag version of, as an example, Doomblade. Like, I know that's not a real money card, but like as an example, like a Doomblade that would be funny, or a lightning bolt, maybe like zapping a chicken or something like that. That'd be really cool. That'd be funny. You'd want to play that. Come on, don't tell me you're sitting there and you wouldn't want to have a lightning bolt that has a lightning bolt zapping a chicken. Foil. Don't tell me you don't want that. I don't believe you. I think that would be really cool. And at rare, I would take that. I would take that to be able to slot that into a deck and just have fun with it. I think that's where Wizards of the Coast should go. Really lighten up on the actual tone of existing cards to fit the flavor of Unset. Keep the integrity of what an Unset is by having the lower rarities, so your drafts and your games are going to be full of shenanigans, whether they're old Unset cards or brand new Unset cards that are freshly created for this third Unset, but then you're mixing it in with real cards. So the way Conspiracy mix in conspiracies with real cards, you're going to have that great draft environment. It's a unique draft environment. It's not taken away from Conspiracy. Now, the argument might be, well, you're taking away from Modern Masters or Eternal Masters or any type of other Masters that would come down the line by taking away valuable reprints like Doomblade. I said Doomblade. I mean Damnation. Why is Doomblade on my mind? Anyways, that's like the only card I can think of right now. What I would do is, I would say this Unset here, it's not like we're slotting it into an additional spot to provide an additional product. I think by creating that space, you either go one of two ways. You either replace it with one of the annual products for that particular year, like let's say a master set. We give ourselves a break so we can buffer up the amount of cards that are going in, and having access to players not being so oversaturated with these expensive products, like, you know, a anthology set or a from the vault set or from a master set. You have them at an MSRP product where you can get valuable reprints, drive the price of entry down for these other formats like Modern, not Standard, because we wouldn't get any Standard reprints, but Eternal's formats. So giving a break to the player base just for that 1 year helps, you know, alleviate the tension that's coming with these master sets. I feel like when people see the spoilers and they start buying the product, or they're unable to find the product, it creates a bit of not an animosity, but a bit of tension, a bit of friction at the reprint policies. The draft matters in a master set where people really just want to get reprints also satiates that ability for Wizards to create that draft environment. So they can have that draft environment. I'm talking about having an Unset every year, just this 1/3 set, making it so that we can get Mark Rosewater on board, so he can, you know, be happy that he's gotten that third Unset. And I'm sure he's happy at work. He's a fulfilled guy. I'm sure of it. I don't know him, but I assume by the passion he talks, he's really enjoying what he does. But he's done a lot for the game, and this wouldn't be a rose that we're giving out to Mark Rosewater. He's definitely working on the product for us to buy it, but it's something he wants to do, and it helps motivate people when they do work on things that they have been trying to champion for a long time, and maybe it spurs innovation in a later set. Because he worked on something on Unset 3, he's discovered this design space that would fit perfectly well in black bordered, and now we have like an amazing new mechanic, or we have an amazing experience in another set. Creativity breeds opportunity, and opportunity is helpful for a lot of different people. It really would help this game out, and it would help maybe evolve it in a different way. And by no means am I saying Magic the Gathering is a stale format. It just would be interesting to get some injection on something that hasn't been seen in over, I think, a decade. I think it's been like a decade since the last Unset came out. I'd just be interested to see when the wheels are grinding and turning and seeing what's coming out. I would love it. I would love to experience that. What do you think? Do you think Wizards of the Coast should make a third Unset? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, you can check out another one of my videos right here. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do that right here. It lets you know when we go live for our live streams and when we upload new videos just like this one. I'd like to thank you for making me a part of your day. Until next time, good gaming.